Good evening and welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Austin work session for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm gonna kick off with some announcements and then we will get into our work session. Before I start to talk about some of the fun events happening in Austin this weekend, I did want to pause and acknowledge the news that broke last night regarding the draft opinion from the U.S. Supreme Court and the uncertain future of the Roe v. Wade decision, which has guaranteed a woman's legal right to obtain an abortion in the United States since 1973. Like so many people across the country, I was appalled to read this document, which tears down decades of hard-fought progress and opens the door to challenge other unenumerated rights, including same-sex marriage, access to birth control, and even interracial marriage. It is so incredibly disheartening to utter these words in 2022, and it is imperative that leaders at all levels of government do whatever we can to protect the basic fundamental rights of women to access safe, legal abortions, and other forms of reproductive health care. We can take a moment to experience the shock and sadness from this news, but now we have to do the work to fight to protect women's rights. A lot of incredible and strong women have paved the way for us, and now it is our time to take up the torch. Happy May on that note, not such a happy note. A new month means an upcoming First Friday community crawl this Friday, May 6th, which is hosted by NU Builds and the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce. There are plenty of local businesses participating this month with art, comedy, music, family dining, open mic night, stage shows, discounts, store specials, and more. I had the chance to participate in last month's community crawl, and it was a great Austin night. So make sure that you check out all of the good stuff happening for First Fridays and for this week's lineup by visiting the new austinevents.com and plan on visiting a few local establishments. austinevents.com is something that NU and the Greater Austin Chamber partnered with. It's what's it called, a something board, a community share board. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a way for everybody to look at all of the different events that are going on and all the different organizations to share their events. So check it out. This Friday, May 6th and Saturday, May 7th, we will be holding our second annual Compost Give Back Day for participants in our food scrap recycling program. And it's not too late to sign up to be part of that food scrap recycling program. I was just on a film, watching a film about, it was called The Sacrifice Zone, and it's all about zero waste and making sure that there are environmental justice in our communities, and we can reduce all of the amount of trash that needs to be burned or ends up in landfills, next to some of our most under-resourced communities and communities of Black and Brown folks who are usually the most targeted with these facilities. So I hope that we can all think about composting, food composting, our food scraps. And here's another way to turn the food scraps into gold by turning them back into healthy soil. So registration in advance is preferred, but not required to participate in this fun day and to get your garden started. The compost will come from Sustainable Materials Management, Inc. in Cortland Manor, which is the facility where our food scraps are composted locally. Saturday, May 7th is a big day for more environmentally focused fun in Austin and beyond. It's the annual Riverkeeper sweep with shoreline projects happening throughout the Hudson Valley. In Austin, you can participate in a streamside cleanup at Ryder Park with the Austin Parks Habitat stewards from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Shoreline cleanup at the Austin waterfront from 9:45 to 12:45 p.m. or help clean up the Sing Sing Kill at Denny Street from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sign up for these local events and more by visiting www.riverkeeper.org/sweep. It's also I Love My Park Day in New York, and there will be plenty of cleanups of the old Croton Aqueduct at Gerlach Park starting at 10 a.m. as well as at Quaker Bridge Road down to the unique area. I believe that also starts at 10. Learn more and sign up at ptny.org. For secondhand shopping over cleanups, you're in luck. May 7th is the Green Ossining Town-wide Tag Sale, fresh off their Green Ossining Earth Day Festival. Now we're looking to reduce, reuse, and recycle from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be plenty of great sales with lots of unique treasures. Visit greenossining.org/tag sale to plan your shopping trip. I'm pretty sure there's also a Facebook page that shows you what the map is, so you can get all around to the best tag sales in town. And finally, if that wasn't enough for a Saturday, Teatown Lake Reservation will be holding its annual plant sale on May 7th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Grab some edible and native plants to start your garden with your free compost you picked up from Cedar Lane Park earlier. There's a first pick sale Friday afternoon if you want to get a jump on your plantings. Check out teatown.org to find out more. What a weekend. Help our environment and get involved. Starting tomorrow, the town and village of Ossining will be distributing free COVID-19 test kits to residents at the Ossining Volunteer Ambulance Corps headquarters at 8 Clinton Avenue in Ossining. We received 2,000 test kits to distribute from Westchester County, and we are very appreciative of the resources from our partners in county government. A portion of the test kits will be dedicated for our community's seniors and will be distributed via our senior nutrition program. Additionally, we received COVID-19 test kits from State Senator Elijah Reichland Melnick, which have been distributed or will be distributed to our essential workers in the town. COVID-19 is still unfortunately very much here. So remember all of our tried and true mitigation efforts. Wear masks in indoor public settings as much as possible, get vaccinated, and keep up with your boosters. Get tested if you are exposed, use one of these at-home tests, or are experiencing symptoms, and of course, stay home if you are feeling sick or if you've tested positive. We hope these test kits and the free testing available at OVAC every Monday and Friday will help our community stay resilient in the face of another wave of COVID cases. That's it for my announcements. Do any of my colleagues have anything to add? Sorry, I'm not in gallery view, so I couldn't see everybody. Nope, everybody's saying no. Okay. Nothing to add. All right, fantastic. With that, we are going to get into our first work session item, and that is the Indian Brook Water Treatment Plant discussion.
We may want to perhaps move to the second agenda item because we are expecting our town planner to join us for that discussion. And I believe she is still held up on her other Zoom meeting. So.
And having not seen any of the texts that probably were sent to me to suggest that we do that, I thank you very much, Victoria Caffarelli, and we're going to move into our second item instead. So we don't have a very big agenda this evening, but we did want to discuss that yesterday I had learned from my colleague, Mayor Nikki Armacost in the village of Hastings, that her board will be taking up a resolution of support for the New York State Climate Action Council scoping plan. Since we have a light agenda this evening, we figured it would be a good opportunity to briefly discuss before adding to a future legislative session agenda. In 2019, New York State adopted the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, also known as the CLCPA, because we love our acronym so much, which set aggressive climate goals for New York State for the next few decades. The Climate Action Council was established and set out to identify a plan for meeting the goals of the CLCPA. These strategies have now been incorporated into a draft scoping plan, and public hearings are being held across the state before the plan is adopted. The plan identifies that electrification of buildings and the transportation sector are two areas of primary focus for meeting the goals of the CLCPA. These goals are laudable, and it is important that New York State continue to educate the public and provide funding to communities to aggressively reduce emissions of fossil fuels. Here in the town of Ossining, we've been very vocal in our support of efforts to improve our environment, including becoming a Pure 100 community in 2020. Not to mention all of the other work that I mentioned just a few moments ago about events that would take place here, our food scraps recycling program, etc. I think it would be good for us to add our voices of support for the scoping plan so that New York State can continue to advance strategies to meet the goals of the CLCPA. I also plan on attending one of the upcoming public hearings on the scoping plan in our area, which is being held in Peekskill next week, one of which is, and that's the one I'm planning to go to because it's close. Is the board comfortable with us considering a similar resolution to the one drafted by Hastings at our next legislative session? I look forward to hearing from you all.
Honestly, I haven't had a chance to see it. I see you just sent it this afternoon, and I haven't had a chance to read through it, so I can't comment on that. In theory, yes, but in practice, I haven't read it.
Okay, fair enough. I saw a thumbs up from one Councilwoman Fields to Wheel. Anybody else have any comments on? No.
Conceptually, yes, but might have to abstain.
Fair enough. That makes sense. And you can look into that. Maybe let us know, or maybe our council can think about if that's something necessary to do.
Sure.
Scoping plan. If we were just supporting the scoping plan, I'm not sure if you would have to, but okay, theoretically. Councilman Mitch, do you have anything to say?
I'm good with it.
You're good with it. All right, fantastic. Okay, so if I would just say, Councilman Feldman, if you want to take a look, if there are any issues that you have, or we're thinking about putting it on for an upcoming legislative session. We're not adopting anything tonight, obviously, since it's just a work session. If you feel like we need to have more conversations in work session, let us know. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, and again, I know it was last minute, but we just thought since we had a very light agenda this evening, we would see if we could just have, if there's anybody who had any issues with it or whatever, we could have a discussion. Okay, so getting back to the conversation about the Indian Brook water treatment plant and the need for tree removal for that. To do the intro, as the board is aware, the Village of Ossining has been working to construct a new water treatment plant facility at the Indian Brook Water Treatment Plant for several years now, which is located in the unincorporated town. I'm going to turn it over to our council, Christy Tomadonna, to talk a little bit about the Tree Bank Fund contribution for this project and how we got here.
So this project had to go through an environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act that was done a couple of years ago by the town's planning board, because the location of the facility is in the unincorporated town. And so as part of that, there was also a site plan consideration and a tree permit or a tree removal resolution that was adopted. And the town board, I would say probably in 2017, adopted some additional regulations with respect to removal of trees, which included a tree bank fund. So if you cannot, if the applicant is going to be removing trees and can't replace, I believe it's 50% of the caliber inch of trees that are going to be removed, then they have to pay that difference into the tree bank fund. And that number is set by the town board by resolution as part of your fee schedule. And I believe it's $285 per caliber inch. So because this is a municipal project, and I believe the supervisor will speak a little bit more about that, and because the actual fee itself is set by resolution of the town board, if the board were so inclined, then the board could consider modifying the price per caliper inch in your discretion by resolution as well.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Council Madonna. We did receive a request that the town waive the tree bank fund contribution for the project as the water infrastructure in the town and village is shared. And also as it is financed by the water fund, which is paid into by all water ratepayers in the village and town. Essentially, water ratepayers in the town would be paying for this fee to come back to the tree bank fund and taking money out of one pocket, putting it into another. So it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. We asked the village also if they would provide us with a summary of the green initiatives incorporated into the project so we can ensure that the environmental impacts of the tree removal are being mitigated. I don't know, we have our planner on, Valerie Nostra, would you want to get into any more detail? I know I have a few listed, which is just that they had actually gotten a grant to have a green roof, bio retention cell, grass pavers, landscaping, and tree plantings. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that or just any more about the conversation that was had with the planning board about that.
Oh, I mean, I think to the large, I mean, you summarized the green initiatives that are proposed for this project, and the village, I mean, excuse me, not the village, asked and requested this particular waiver. They did consult with us first, both Dan CRCA and myself, and we recommended that they had to petition the town board for changes to that requirement. I think when the planning board originally approved the project, you know, it's an automatic requirement if you cannot replace the trees, which is why that contingency or that condition was put onto the resolution. So at this point in time, it's really up to the town board to make a decision whether you want to allow for that waiver, you know, based upon recommendation from your council.
So I'll open it up to comments from the town board, but, you know, I just would reiterate that this is obviously a public benefit. This isn't a development that's benefiting a few. This is a public benefit that's to improve our water supply, which the water fund is paying for the improvements, as well as would be paying for anything to go back to the town to pay for the offset of the trees. We did ask again for these environmental improvements, and I think that that's very important that there are environmental attributes that are built into this project, which I don't know what the environmental offset is or the greenhouse gas offset is of the improvements, and I suppose that there's some level at which they can identify or help us identify some of that, but I'm not sure that, you know, that we have that on hand right now, but if, you know, that's something that anybody would want. Just open it
Okay,
up.
so, all right, so we're gonna, I mean, I'm okay with waiving the fee. It's silly to, you know, charge them and then have it come back. I'm sure that they will do the improvements, plant the trees, do the screening, and, you know, I don't have any doubt. And really it's just taking, like you said, it's taking it out of one pocket and putting it into the other. As far as the taxpayers go, it's not. And I'm sure the village is going to be more than fair with us in replacing it. I just want to make sure from Christie, it's not going to set some sort of a precedent that we're not going to like.
Well, we'll have to do a resolution because that's how the fee schedule is set, which is what this is part of. And we can certainly put in some unique factors that are, you know, specific to this application that would make it different. Most notably, the fact that it is a municipal project that is being funded by the taxpayers. So it's very different than other circumstances where you have a subdivision or you have any other sort of private improvement.
Or even enough. I mean, it is just, I think, you know, even I think, you know, in certain cases, you could make a case for, you know, a not-for-profit also not really benefiting or whatever, but this is a municipal facility for the benefit of the municipality. And it's being sited essentially on the same property where currently, you know, it's just slightly to, I don't know if it's north, south, east, or west, but, you know, just slightly to the side of the current facility. Obviously, this will be a great benefit to all of us as we want our clean water.
And I just want to note that they are proposing to landscape. So it's not that they're not, it's just the difficulty is that they're just not able to provide the replacement on site without potential interference with the facility itself.
No, understood and agreed, just making sure we're, you know, make it pretty clear that, you know, because it's municipal property, because it's the same pool of people that, you know, would be benefiting and would be paying, it makes a lot of sense.
Anybody else have any other comments? I guess I am curious about the carbon offsets. That would be interesting if they could give us some data, but it's not gonna change my mind, at least about the the money. I don't think that they should be paying money. If we could find other alternatives, you know, to improve the ultimate benefit of, you know, whatever they do to the landscaping and to the green roof, et cetera. I think that, you know, that's going to be our biggest quote unquote bang for the buck. So the bang for the environmental buck. Councilman Meyer, do you have anything, or Councilman Minish, are you guys good with also agree?
Yeah, I'm in support of waiving the fee. It's improving, the reward is better than the, you know, right now it's improving our infrastructure and everything. So I'm okay with waiving the fee.
Agreed.
All right, so we will prepare a resolution for everybody's review and have that ready soon. We're very grateful. That's it for our work session agenda items.
That was,
I'm sorry.
that was nice and quick.
Did you have any additional announcements? Anybody announcements? Going once, going twice for announcements? And not hearing any, I would ask for a motion to adjourn to executive session for advice of counsel and personnel.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you for joining us back on Zoom. Next week, we will continue on our all Zoom format with a legislative session on May 10th. Have a great week and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody.